these are just kind of the same things. So again, to save time, I'm just going to put the two givens. So I'm not going to write them all out. Okay, and then I'm just going to start working. So I'm trying to prove that the two are equal. So every time you do that, you want it to figure out your next step, to figure out what comes next, you've got to use these things. So they told me that JK is parallel to MN, which is fine. And then we've got KN, this bisects JM. So what you know is that it cuts it in half. So that's going to be my step 3. So I'm going to say JL is congruent to LM. The reason why we knew that is because it told me that KN bisected it. So this is going to be the definition of a bisector, of a segment bisector. Okay, it doesn't work the other way. This is the bisector. It bisected this segment. So we can't do the other way. So to get my next step, I'm going to have to use the other piece of given. So I've got right here, I've got parallel lines. So anytime you have parallel lines, you want to highlight them. And then you're a transversal. So you could have picked this one. You could have picked the other one. It doesn't matter. In this case, these would be your two angles. So you can say angle K and angle N are equal, are congruent. The reason why you knew that is because you had parallel lines. So those are alternate interior angles. Okay. Now, if you want, here's your option. Since you use the parallel lines, you can be done with it. So you can either use vertical angles in the middle, or you can keep with the parallel lines, and then you can use these two angles. So you can use J and M. And again, those are alternate interiors. So that purple step, you could have also used the 3 letters and did vertical angles for L. That's fine. Okay, if that's the case, then actually the rest of everything else is exactly the same. So I've got my 3 pieces of info. So the next thing, as soon as you get your 3 pieces of info, you want a triangle congruence statement. And then in this case, it is the proof part. So that would be your step 6. And then this is angle, angle, side. Okay, so the purple step could have been the vertical angles if you want. That's kind of the only difference. Next, I've got C as the midpoint, and then I've actually got 3 givens. You can either put them all in one, or you can put them 3 steps. It really doesn't matter to me. It makes no difference. So now I need to figure out step 4. Let's see what we got. C is the midpoint. So what that's going to help me with in step 4, if C is the midpoint of that, then that means these two are going to be equal. So that can be my step 4. So segment AC is congruent to segment CE. The reason why you knew that is because it said C was the midpoint. So this is definition of a midpoint. Okay, next it gave me BA and DE, which they already marked for you, and then A and E. So I've got 3 pieces of info. As soon as you got your 3 pieces of info, you get to go straight to the triangle congruence statement, which is the proof. So the proof part can go here for your triangle congruence statement, and this is side, angle, side. That angle is included. So side, angle, side, and you're done. Okay, next, this is the only thing they give you, LM and JM. That's it. So I got 1 given, and that's all I got. They also gave me that this is a 90-degree angle, okay? So it probably would have given you that MK is perpendicular to LJ. So it's just not written in there. So we'll just say that's given, because that would probably be in the given situation. Okay, that's where this 90-degree angle comes from. So for the next step, 3 is a little longer. So for the next step, what you can say is you can say that angle, well, you want to use 3 letters. So angle LKM can be congruent to angle JKM. Okay, the reason why you knew that is because these were perpendicular. So perpendicular lines form right angles. Okay, so you can do a couple of different steps. If you wanted, technically, it should be JKM as a right angle, and that would be definition of perpendicular lines. So technically, you should have that in there, but I'm not going to be that picky. So since these are both right angles, then you can just say all right angles are congruent. So now I have that. The only other thing I have in there that takes care of all my givens is I've got my shared line. So in step 4, Km and Km. And that's going to be reflexive. So reflexive of congruence. So I've got my 3 pieces of info, which means next goes my triangle congruence statement, which is right here. So that will go there. And then this is not side angle side. That angle is not included. Always check for hypotenuse leg when you have a right angle. So my hypotenuse are equal, and then this is my leg. So in step 5, that's HL. Okay, do you remember what comes if something comes after your triangle congruence statement? That's the CPTCT. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So CPCTC. All right, next. I've got 2 givens. Okay, mark them. So JN bisects ML. So if you have JN cuts ML in half. So that can be a next step. So since it bisects it, that means MK is congruent to KL. Okay, and the reason why we knew that is because it was bisected. So this is a definition of a segment bisector. I would definitely recommend pausing me and trying these because then you can see where you're going wrong before you even watch the video. Okay, next it says M and L, those are already marked. So I need one more piece of info. Givens aren't giving me anything else. So I've got vertical angles. Always look for those invisible things. Shared sides, shared angles, vertical angles, any parallel sides, things like that. So this is a vertical angle. I have to use 3 letters. So this one over here will be angle JKM. The one on the right, LKN. We knew that because those are vertical angles. Okay, got my 3 pieces of info. So you go straight to your triangle statement, which again is right here. And this one is angle, side, angle. Okay, I think I got one more. So see if you can do it on your own. Pause me. So my 2 are givens. Got to see what comes next. So let's see what we got. We've got AB and DE there, or ED, they already marked it, and then A and D. That's all I got. So the only thing left to mark, I've got an invisible vertical angle right there. So the one on the left will be angle BCA, and the one on the right will be DCE. The reason why we knew that is those are vertical angles. Okay, got 3 pieces of info. So next, triangle congruent statement, which they gave me right here. And then these are angle, angle, side. Okay, so